All right, so I have an unpopular opinion about this whole China US trade war situation. Now, I know a lot of people, especially in my community, are very much kind of cheering on China a little bit. And a lot of other people in other communities as well. But I noticed there's a lot of cheering on China, like, yeah, China, go ahead and, stick it to us. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of y'all hate Trump and like what he's doing or whatever the case may be. Honestly, I think it's more hating him than what he's doing. But, we won't get into that. But, fair enough. You know what I mean? I understand that may be true. And I'm not saying that's not a valid point. But my thing is, to me, I look at the bigger picture, all right? And the bigger picture for me is the fact that truly, if it wasn't for the United States, China would not be where China is right now. Let's be real. China would not have risen from living in squalor to being like a major player in the world's, countries, world powers in 50 years. There's no way that would have happened unless they literally extracted the manufacturing from the Midwest and took it to China. That's how they came up, because we gave them business. And I mean, the United States, are you kidding me? The biggest consumers in the whole world. So yeah, they came up. So I mean, and I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe China already had tariffs on us to begin with. So it ain't like the United States just put these tariffs in play out of nowhere. Like, China been had tariffs on us. So not only did they get business from us and make money off of us, but then they gonna charge us on top of that. And so you have a president, from my understanding, is just trying to reciprocate what they've already done. Like I said, I'll check that though. But nonetheless, I don't know. I just feel like if I had a client, right? If I'm a new startup, right? And I'm struggling, I'm bootstrapping. Now, let me just say something real quick. I'm not going to sit here and act like China didn't do their part, because they did their part. They did, they instilled discipline and education in their children. They did a lot of STEM. They did a lot of mathematics. So they did their part. So I'm not taking anything away from that. They definitely did their thing, right? But none of that would have meant anything if we did not give them business, like almost exclusive business to all of our products. In a time where we were like, this is like the 80s, the 70s, when we were like exploding with business. They had all the manufacturing that literally all the stuff that China has right now should be in the Midwest. The Midwest should look like Saudi Arabia, Dubai, or something like that right now. But it's not. Instead, it's blighted because all of the manufacturing was taken from the United States to China. And only people that benefited from it were the, billionaire corporations and the stockholders. So we suffer as a country because of that. So instead of like saying, okay, I understand you don't like Trump, but at the end of the day, the way you're like siding with China, like, I get it. You don't like Trump's like policies or whatever the case may be. But this thing with China has been going on way before Trump ever got in office. And if you look at the bigger picture and just a little bit less emotional and I guess more strategic and logical, you have to kind of be like China kind of, I don't know. They being a little funny style to me. I just feel like, considering how much business and life we kind of put into China, they should be a little more appreciative. But instead, they like pretty much gonna like, betray us, essentially, their biggest client. And I know this, if I'm a business startup and I have a client that's pretty much the reason why I'm like a billionaire company right now, like, I'm gonna be a little bit appreciative. I'm gonna be kind of like, accommodating to what's going on. Why do we have these tariffs? Good question. Maybe we should reevaluate that. Or at least not be mad and try to retaliate because, they're going to do the same thing that we did. So I'm not saying, I have all the answers, because I'm not a historian or whatever the case may be, but I do a little reading here and there, and I, picked up on some things, and I'm just thinking like, Americans, a lot of y'all are real childish right now. You're acting like kids. You're mad at your dad or your whatever, so you're gonna just act up. Just be rebellious. And it's like, look, China don't mean you no good either. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, so y'all trying to like do business with China and rooting on China against America, your own country that you live in, to make life harder for you. It's kind of crazy. And I mean, I just I had to say something because I just feel kind of like a lot of y'all just sound crazy. Like, if you've ever been to Gary, Indiana, St. Louis, pretty much any country, any city in the Midwest aside from Chicago, and truth be told, Chicago has lost a lot too. Chicago has lost a lot, but maybe not quite as bad off as those other cities. But just imagine what Chicago would be if we still had manufacturing here in America. Like, Chicago would be crazy right now. Like, well, crazy in a good way. It's already crazy in a bad way. I mean, Chicago is a great city, despite all that. But I'm just saying, it could be a lot further along. And I could just imagine what my family would have inherited had we had more, business in this area. And it wasn't taken and stolen. So, my beef is with whatever administration start offshoring all of our businesses and companies. And not only did they take the businesses and manufacturing, they took the IP. They took the trademarks, well, not the trademarks, but they took the actual product, and then they would, bootleg it. So they didn't even respect. I mean, it's just, to me, China's all around messy to me. And the fact that y'all will like side with them to like go against America, the America that you allegedly are from, is crazy to me. And maybe you're not from here, because a lot of people in America are not from America at this point. Like, I feel like half of the people here aren't even from here for real. Not like, 4 or 5 generations back. A lot of y'all like 1 or 2 generations in, maybe 3. So y'all kind of hate America anyway. So, I mean, it may make sense for you. But as American, like, who has family from here and seen what we lost and how messed up, like how we suffered and bled, sweat, and cried up in this place, it's just hard for me to see you guys, just kind of cheer on the demise of America for, teaming up with China, because you don't like Trump. And I get it. He's doing a lot of stuff. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I'm just saying, like, going with the ops ain't the answer either. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I just hope y'all just maybe reconsider the way y'all handling everything. Or at least if you have that stance, you believe that, just keep it to yourself. Don't put it online. Keep it to yourself. Talk to your friends and family about it. But just putting it out there like that, I think it's kind of crazy.